What's going on? We just left New Hampshire. We swung over here to Vermont. We picked a path up through here with a lot of ag and meadows, you know, surrounding the big woods. We're rolling up through here and we got 2 strutting longbeards out here with what appears to be 4 hens. We're just watching them right now. We're gonna see where they go in, and by the looks of things, this is where we're gonna start our morning off. They don't look to be too spooky. They're coming in and out of strut. These birds are fired up. I'm gonna rip a hoot here just to see if we can get them to gobble, so we have a really good idea directionally where they ended up. Maybe I'll figure out how deep in there they are.
You see them 2 tall crowns right there, dude?
Yeah.
Those are probably the fucking oaks they fly into. They went down.
He's right in line with that corner. I still think that they're gonna come out to that logging road though. Let's see if he gobbles me starting my truck.
Turkey's roosted right there-ish. Right in this little sliver chunk facing.
Yeah, we ended up watching him go in and we were able to hoot one up. I'm assuming he's up on the limb by now. He's gotta be. He cut in on a logging road, and they ended up going in there, and there's a cut back in there, and that logging road has got to go to that cut. I'm thinking they went in on that logging road, hit that cut, and just worked their way down. There's a little, not much of a gully, but there is a gully down in there, and it's really the only topography in this. I mean, it's not a big woods. You're only talking 150 yards across, and with that being the only topography in there, I mean, my bet would be that they're gonna pitch off and end up right on the edge of that gully. And in the morning, that logging road's got to be right in here. Those hens went in right at them rocks right there, and the longbeards pretty much did the same thing, but when they gobbled, they're right down in here, and I don't think they're all that far inside that edge. Well, they really can't be far inside that edge because it's 150 yards till you hit another field. So in the morning, we'll definitely be in the game with them, whether they fly down to our side and come to this field, which I would assume they're gonna do, or they're gonna go out the other side, and there's a ridge system that works down through here. There's not a ton of places for them to go where they're just gonna disappear into a giant block of woods on us, so it's looking good for the morning. Jake DECOY. I can't imagine they're going to tolerate that, so if everything goes as planned, it should be good. That bird can't be more than maybe 80, edge of that cut that we were talking about last night. That gully runs up, down through the edge of this field. It kind of comes down at an angle. He's right on the edge of that, so is this bird. These birds behind us sound like they're more roosted in that cut, but we're in the game for sure, so let's see how it plays out. some other birds gobbling. I think we're gonna go chase them around and see if we can't get on them. We did have one fire off back here and probably a couple hundred. Well, he might be farther than a couple hundred with his cut. It's not gonna be as thick, you know, that sound's getting out there a lot better. But nonetheless, we got a bird that's still gobbling back behind us here, so we're gonna get him tagged and tuck the blind away and go do a little running and gunning and see if we can't get on the second fly out. Oh yeah. Didn't take as many feathers as I thought I was gonna. See? Nice 2-year-old bird. Man, got a nice beard on him here. These birds up in these hills, they're not corn fed for sure. I know he had a couple feathers missing here, but I guess it's not missing, it's just busted. Well guys, we're here in Vermont. Right off the roost, we ended up having this bird fly down behind us. He worked. If you look, he hit the ground, I'm thinking, probably right around those small little pines right there. And he ended up, we could hear him coming and spitting and drumming. He gobbled, I mean, he couldn't have been 5-10 yards off the edge of the blind. I mean, he ended up working his way right around up into here, beating up on this decoy. And this Tom over here, at one point he had broken strut, and he started to get some pep in his step coming this way. Thought he was going to commit, but this bird ended up coming down here to see what this, you know, encounter this bird. And when he started going away, that's when, I mean, he got there right here, and I mean, it wasn't going to take the chance of him not coming back. So got him to gobble out to the left here good, and was able to get a shot out around his body. And but that Tom, he took off. He was spook. He took off flying big time. It was tough not looking square on the field, you know what I mean, to get a good mark. But those hens ended up coming down, and those hens were roosted right up in here, at least from what it sounded like, you know. And I'm thinking there was a couple hens with him too, because there was a hen yelping behind us.
He had 2 hens with him when he broke into the field.
Yeah, and there was at least one hen talking behind us. I mean, it's that.
He gobbled, that turkey down there is the one that gobbled at you owl hooting.
Yes, yeah, it was, yeah, that's definitely the bird that gobbled hooting, because it sounded like he was in that corner. He was up here a little, I think a little bit farther than it sounded like, but he was within, you know, 50, 60 yards of what we thought. And you can actually see this pond here. It looks like it drains out into that creek that runs down through, and that's that swale or little ravine we were talking about that comes down through with this 45. Actually, this woods actually looks like it drops off even more than. So getting in here and looking at this, there's actually right here, it drops right off the back side of this. It goes down in and comes back up. It really didn't show it on the topo, but it's definitely enough for those birds to just come in and pitch right up over this too. Now that we're in here looking at it, it showed a little bit of a shelf on the topo, but it didn't look as, at least to me, it didn't look as prominent as it is. That's definitely the major ravine there though. And we got around the backside last night, and once you get down in there, it drops in pretty good. So we were up at the start of it up here, but these little topography features though are really gonna help you narrow down where the birds are roosting, especially if you don't have time to roost them ahead of time. If you're rolling into a state middle of the night and you're hunting in the morning, those are the kinds of things that it helps to look for, and just to get you in the ballpark, or at least in earshot of a bird to go after, depending on what style of hunting you're looking to do.